So yeah, this is my initial review of a few sites off of the Wikipedia list of video sharing site list. This isn't going to be in-depth by any means. This is more of a vetting process. I want to see what, on a superficial glance, just won't work for us, and what might. So, there are a few things that are going to be obvious if they're not going to work, and those I'll just nip in the bud right here. And then there will be some more that will probably be useful. So, here we go. Hey, this is my first quick little review. I started with the website AniBOOM. This one is pretty much right out for what we're looking for. This is all animation. It's not bad. There's some good stuff on there, but it's all animation. There's nothing really comparable to YouTube at all. So, AniBOOM is right out. Okay, moving on. Okay, second quick review. BGVIP.tv. This one, for most of us, is also going to be right out because the entire damn thing's in Cyrillic. So unless you are familiar with any of the Eastern Bloc languages or Russian or any of that good stuff, it's probably not a viable option. Moving on. Alright, next one I looked at was Blinkx. B-L-I-N-K-X. And this, unless I'm like completely missing something, which, I mean, granted I didn't spend a whole hell of a lot of time on it because I couldn't really figure out any way it could be anything other than what I think it is. It appears just to be a search engine, essentially. I couldn't find any way to upload content. It appears to search for other content. I mean, it's hard to really get a grip on. I may come back to it later, but I'm not going to spend any more time on it at this exact point because it doesn't seem like a viable option. So, I will move on to the next on the list. Oh, it should be noted I skipped Big Think because it looks really interesting. I don't think it's going to be what we need, but I want to actually give a little more time to it. Right now, I'm just skimming the list to see what I can eliminate right off the bat. So, let's move on to the next. Okay, next website I looked up was Blip TV. Now, this one's interesting. It specializes more in serialized content, like amateur internet TV shows, or some, I mean, mostly amateur. I mean, I'm sure there's some professional stuff on here, but it's not really comparable to YouTube because of this. I mean, it's really neat. It's definitely worth a look-see, and I'm going to poke around with it later. I'm just at the moment, I'm not going to dedicate as much time to it because it looks like it's just for purely artistic stuff. It seems to be. It seems to be. Not so much what YouTube is with. I mean, YouTube is kind of, it's really diverse. Most of these websites seem to be fairly specific. So, whatever. If you want to take a look at it, take a look at it. I'm going to wait until I've looked at the other options before I come back to it. So, there we go. Next, I looked at break.com. This is more of a comedy site. It appears to be geared towards a male audience. A lot of nut shots and dogs humping stuff and car accidents and stuff like that. I mean, there's viewer added content, but like I said, it once again doesn't seem really comparable to YouTube. I mean, if enough people go there, who knows? But at this moment, it doesn't really look like something horribly viable. It should be stricken from the options entirely, but it's probably not really going to pan out. So, I'm going to move on to the next one on the list. Okay, next I looked at Buzznet. It appears to be a kind of a music thing. That's really what it seems to be most focused on, is music, the music community. There are videos. I mean, it looks kind of YouTube-ish. It's definitely worth a longer look. Like I said, this is just me kind of superficially going through things. So at the moment, it's kind of iffy, but it has potential. So Buzznet is on the go list for now. So hey, please don't mind the dog. I had to keep an eye on her for a little while. Next site I checked out was Dailymotion.com/US because it's actually a French website, and has different language mirrors. Anyway, like I said, this is just to go over. I'm glanced at it, and it looks like a distinct possibility. I don't know how diverse it is, but it's got a lot of different categories or channels. What they call channels, we would call categories, and what have you, varying from arts to film and TV to vlogs and animals, college, tech and science, people and family, gay and lesbian, Latino. It has a Latino channel for all those who like Latino stuff. And some adult stuff too, so cool on that. I will do probably an in-depth report on it after I get a feel for it. Moving on. Alright, next site I looked at was EngageMedia. This one's probably out. It focuses on social justice and environmental issues in Australia, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific. So it's not really as diverse as we would like. But it's got interesting stuff on it, so that's cool. Regardless, it's probably out for our purposes.
Where independent artists win.
I am looking at Famecast right now. It's not what we're looking for. It's all about independent artists. Music type independent artists.
Also have to be entrepreneurs these days.
So there you go.
It's
not one of our options.
And cash that you need.
Next I looked at GodTube. Moving on. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for now. I'm going to look at a couple of sites. Specifically, I'm really going to look at Buzznet a little more, and I'm really going to look at Dailymotion, because those are probably the best options out of what I've looked at so far. Dailymotion looks really good, just superficially. But I'll get into it a little more, and I'll give you an update probably in a day or two once I get a serious feel for it. So, also, I'll be continuing this list a little later. I have some stuff I gotta do. Anyway, so, here's hoping.